At this time, I'd like to get the minutes approved from our March 25th meeting. If there are no questions on those minutes, I'll set the motion.
Councilwoman Grassett, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion from Councilman Grassett. Is there a second?
Councilman Quillen, I'll second.
We have a second from Councilman Quillen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Great, those pass unanimously. Next on our agenda is public comment. Is there anyone here this evening for public comment?
No, sir.
Okay. We're breezing along to correspondence. Is there any correspondence?
No, sir, we have no correspondence.
All right, I'll keep it moving. New business number one this evening, Rob Herrera with the 9th Street Development Team. Going to give us an update on the Nylon Capital Shopping Center project. Mr. Herrera, if you don't mind coming forward.
Yes, thank you guys for inviting me here today.
Thank you.
Today should be a fairly quick update. As I committed at the very beginning of this project, I wanted to give regular updates to the council on a fairly regular basis. Before I start, though, I want to say a special thank you to Stephanie, who hopefully has some slides up here, who threw this together very quickly for me. Yes, there it is. So starting off with the progress updates, I'm sure a lot of you are aware and have been watching, community bank space is nearly complete. I don't want to give the final date. I'll save that for them as they have some finishing touches to do on the interior of their space, but we're nearly there. And we're really excited as this is going to sort of set the tone for the design and the vision of what's to come here. This building, as we call it, Building F on this side, we name it A through E, should be complete here in the coming months. So within the next 2 months, it should be completely done. Pretty soon, Dollar Tree sign will go back up. I know that they'll be excited to see that go up here shortly. The one thing that's missing is metal panels. We've had some delays with supply chain issues. I'm sure it's going around the country, but that metal panel will be here very, very soon. I was on site today to confirm that. And the cedar will be done, they told me by the end of this week, but probably early next week from what I've seen today. So these are a few aerial shots. The drive aisle is complete. That's the DelDOT approved drive aisle. Pretty soon all the asphalt will be brand new and beautiful like that. But this was the very first sort of test case. If you want to keep clicking through, you'll see some of the site work now as we move around the site. We have Corrado Construction very, very busy at work if you've been out there. They have been doing all the grading, doing a lot of underground utilities. I want to say a special thank you to Mr. Bennett, who we ran into an issue where 2 electrical poles, if you want to just freeze here for a second, that were in the way behind Sal's Pizza. The Seaford Electric Department was incredibly helpful, jumped to very, very quickly, and has helped us relocate those poles so that Corrado can continue to progress. So we're very, very appreciative of that. As you can see here, there's a big mound of dirt. You're going to see that moved around the site. It's a very flat site to get some topography. That's been the big holdup. But very shortly thereafter, right in this picture here to the right, Title Health's footings are going in. Steel's already on its way. We're just waiting for that big mound of dirt to be moved for the footings to be put in place. And you can keep clicking. I want to get can you go back to, it's fine. Dell Tech's footings have already begun today, and that steel is already prepped. That doesn't have a big pile of dirt in the way. So you're going to see steel up in the next few weeks here, which we're really excited about. Okay, you can continue forward, sorry. The big announcement I want to make is that we have locked in a date. We have rushed across the board to sign GMP contracts, as you can imagine, with sort of price hikes happening across the country, which we have done in place, but specifically the mill's full fit out is on schedule to be finished before the end of the year. If we want to click through these slides now, this is, I've shared this rendering before. There's some interior shots that I don't know if I've shared yet. This is fully launched. This is going to be a very new innovation co-working space that we're going to run. We're really excited to start filling it up and promoting this now. Again, we can commit to finishing by the end of the year, so if you know anybody, please let them know. We're doing 50% discounts for all offices for the first year we're in operation. We just launched a new website, which we're really excited about. We're going to start sharing that in social media right after today's meeting. So really excited about that, 50% off. It says first 6 months, but I'll do the first year if anybody reaches out. But we want to really fill up that place and want to make that the heart of a small business incubator and small business center here in Seaford, Delaware. The hope, again, it has 25 offices We have room for a desk, and we have community membership that's just, we call it our Starbucks membership, that you can just come and use the space. We're doing discounts on that as well, and again, the goal is it becomes sort of the heart and center of all sort of small business activity here in western Sussex County. Any questions for me?
Any questions for Mr. Herrera from council?
I have one question about
Yeah.
your
Vice Mayor?
model for the mill.
Yep.
In your co-op space, does it have shared receptionist, or is it part of that model?
Yes, we do, we have a couple different options. Yes, we have one full-time receptionist, but also two, we do mail handling services. So if you need a business address, we do that, which is a pretty popular product here in Delaware. But we also do phone management systems. So we can answer the phones for people, but we can also have them forward to certain ways, but you get one business phone. I'm trying to think of other virtual services we do. I mentioned mail handling. We don't quite do registered agents work, although we're planning on rolling that out in the coming years. But yeah, we do some secretarial services as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions while I'm here?
Any additional questions for Mr. Herrera?
And I hope to have some more updates in the months to come. We have a bunch of lease proposals out, and hopefully we have some good feedback in the coming weeks.
I'll say this much, we're keeping you busy.
Yeah, yeah.
We are keeping you busy. Yourself, Dave, your entire team have been a joy to work with. There's a lot of things, to your point, we cannot comment on right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and it's a massive project, and you guys have done a phenomenal job in a short period of time of bringing this to fruition. Had somebody today, when I was walking around the city, ask me about the mill specifically.
Great.
So the word's getting out there, people are interested and are engaged in this project, so I think we'll have more exciting items to speak about in the near future.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you guys so much for letting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Stephanie.
Stephanie did save the day. Appreciate that. I'm going to move on to new business number 2. We have Cass Day here and her team from the Seaford Community Garden. Ms. Day has done a phenomenal job with that garden. She wants to give our council and our community an update.
Hello, everybody. Nice
Hi,
to see you
how
all
are you
again.
doing?
Good evening.
Wonderful, thank you, and thanks for having us here again at the City Hall. We have grown a lot since the last time we were here, and we hope that every time we come down here, we're growing more. We have some fantastic events coming up this next couple months, so we wanted to come down to speak of those events, to let Seaford know what we have going down. We have events that are for the families, free events for children, so there's a lot to get in and participate with during these events. So we want to spread the word on those. We have an Earth Day event coming up, which is April 26th. During our Earth Day event, we have a plant and seed exchange where anybody can bring a house plant down and seeds that they don't use for their garden and swap with another person and talk about plants, talk about seeds. We have a guest speaker who's going to be speaking about monarch butterflies and the conservation of them, with some giveaways from Passwater's Nursery. They had given us some milkweed plugs that we're able to pass out in their name, so we thank Passwater's Nursery for that. And within that, we also will be talking about gardening and hopefully gaining some more volunteers, or at least raising some awareness down at the gardens. Our next big event is May 17th. So jot down May 17th. We have a lot of vendors coming down to Pearl Street from 11 to 4 o'clock. We have food trucks, El Primo Taquiero, Mojo's, Martha's Ice Cream, who is coming down onto High Street, has a food truck, and they're going to be coming down there as well. We have the Little Farm Petting Zoo, so there'll be pony rides and animals to pet for the children, which we had in the Fall Festival and was a great turnout. And about 20 or so vendors that are local Seafordarians that we try to help raise awareness for as well, not just the garden. We give them a place that's safe and positive to come down and showcase things that they make and they spend their hard time to make. And we bring people together. It shows awareness, brings awareness for the garden as well as for those vendors. Because we're not just about growing tomatoes, like I tell you, we're about growing a community. And that's how we unify our community the best that we can. So May 17th, big event. We have music. The Seaford Music School Education Institute Institute, am I saying this correctly? Yes, which soon will be Mr. Howard's School of Music. Music Academy. Their students will actually be singing and playing the piano and whatnot during our event. So every hour will be another student lined up to play, as well as the Quillins who play at our events as well. So it'll be music to listen to as we're walking around and buying things from our crafters. So that's awesome, and we hope to see you all there for that. And then, of course, don't forget about our amazing Fall Festival that we had this past October. And we have somebody here in the audience that might have been one of our pie contest
I got a
eaters,
face full of
Mr.
it.
Quillen. Was a contestant, as well as an SRO member, John Wingate. One of the volunteer firemen came as well, that all participated in a pie eating contest where Key Lime Pie had donated pies for us to use. It was a very fun event, and our main winners went home with a slice of pie trophy and a garden space in our garden this year.
I got it hanging up.
And that's awesome. We love that. So that was a really big part of our fall festival that we had in October, and we're doing that again this October, which will be October 11th. So look forward to that, and we hope to see you all a part of that contest this year. There was women involved as well. We just put our hair back and put your face in some key lime pie. It's very tasty.
Yeah, I won the raffle. I'm happy.
So, that's right, Ms. Grassett won one of our raffles as well. So we try to get everybody involved. Whether you're a councilman, a restaurant owner, a church, a preschool, a resident, we want to see everybody involved in this garden. When we first started, the mission was about growing for veterans, giving a space, a garden space for veterans to have a free space that were handicap accessible beds. Which moved then on to growing spaces for families of Seaford. That we had participation with a restaurant or two this past year, as well as a recovery home or two. They had garden spaces with us, so their people can come down and have something to look forward to and grow their own food. And that's how it started. And then last year we were blessed with an extra space of land by Mr. Alaman, once again. And that land was a large parcel of land, and we knew that we would be able to grow on the grounds with that. So we named it the Giving Garden. And the reason for the name is because that garden grows food for us to give to Seaford. So last year, we broke grounds in March of 2024, and by November of 2024, we were able to give 1,200 pounds, 1,200 pounds of food to local shelters and churches in Seaford. And that wasn't even numbers that volunteers might have taken or people have walked by and taken. That was just the numbers that we documented. And that's a lot of food in a short period of time, the first year of that garden. So that garden is our blessing. So it started with helping veterans. Then it was helping families. Now we're helping Seaford. And we hope that Seaford helps us back in return by spreading our word and our message, bringing volunteers our way, bringing youth groups our way to help volunteer, where we can teach them something and they can teach us something. Spreading our word to businesses to help sponsor us. We had a lot of sponsors, not just residents, but businesses this past year, from Tractor Supply to Nelson Trucking. Of course, Alleman and Associates always helps us. So many. Jimenez Hardscapes put the grounds down for the Veterans Garden on their donation, and that was a large job. Flor de Mexico just sponsored our volunteers for an 18-person volunteer dinner and sponsored that on them because they see what we do for their community, so they're giving back to us. So many businesses and people are now really getting involved, and it's a beautiful thing, and we want to keep growing that. We want to keep growing our mission, we want to grow more food, and then eventually have more garden spaces as we grow. We do have a new project in the making through Mr. Alaman, which will give us a little tranquil pathway with water features and whatnot, but that'll be in the making this next year, so keep your senses open for that, because it's going to be a beautiful little project. And that will go from North Cannon Street to the back of the Veterans Garden, and it'll be a little pathway of hardscapes and whatnot, and the community will be welcome to use that space. It'll be great for the bakery that's there, new in town, for their customers to sit. So Alaman has this project that he wants the garden to be a part of, so we're growing bigger. So stay tuned for that. We want to thank all our volunteers, because volunteers are people like you that help us in some way or form, so we appreciate all of you. There's another project that we have coming up, which we're going to start implementing during our May 17th event, which is the Rocky the Rock Snake. I don't know if anyone has heard of this, but it's a cute project that towns seem to be getting involved into. It becomes a community challenge where you start with the head of the rock, which is a snake's face. We have a volunteer who will lead the project. And then from that, people of the community, classrooms, schools, residents, can add a rock, paint it their way, and put their names on it, and add to that snake. So the snake then grows. And then within that, the snake can grow so long as a half a mile. And we can challenge other towns to want to make that community challenge together by who has the longest snake, or we just have something as simple as being in Seaford. But we were looking to see if the city would like to maybe get involved with that, where we can have the rock snake starting in the city, ending at the garden, or just along High Street. We can maybe talk about that in the future as a collaboration. I think it'd be a fun project. We all think it'd be a fun project for the city to get involved in. And then, of course, at the end of the challenge, we would take those rocks and bring them down to the gardens. And this way people can come and see their gardens, the rocks within our gardens over time. And if we have this as an annual event, then, we really make it a beautiful grounds. So that's something we want to approach the city with as well. And with all the talking I do, does anybody have any questions for myself or the garden?
Any questions from council for Cast Day? Vice Mayor.
We have a freeze warning tonight. Do you have your cold frame set up?
A wish, a hope, and a dream. So we have cold crops in now that we actually started, which will bump our numbers for this year because we want to goal at 1,500 pounds over the 1,200 from past year. So we started with cold crops already. We have peas in the ground, carrots, radishes, dill, cilantro. And because they're cold crops and it's only one night of frost, we should be okay. Yes, if you have tomatoes outside, cover them, please. You will kill your tomatoes, I promise you. Strawberries, yes, you can cover them with straw. It's very helpful. So the garden itself, it's a project to help veterans, families, residents, bring businesses together. We promote businesses that sponsor us by putting them on our Facebook, our social media, by putting them on our banners and our T-shirts during our events, and that's how we give back to the companies that help us. So we just hope that we can all hold hands and work together and grow this garden and grow more food for Seaford. So thank you very much for your time.
I got one for you.
Of course.
I don't know if you, in the future here, if you were thinking about, one thing I've been trying to do and like to see done in Seaford is a farmer's market. So I don't know if you're trying to, is any thought to that, what you might see in the future for putting a farmer's market into this project too as well?
It would be a wonderful idea, and thank you for bringing that up. A lot of people have mentioned a farmer's market. I do believe that Donley Margin was trying to do something like that,
Yes.
and we didn't want to take away from something that they started, but it is on the opposite side of town, so it could be beneficial. We do have the option, being that there's no residence home along the Pearl Street, we are able to have more closure on the road to have events, to have markets. I did ask people during the May event if farmers market type of vendors want to come in. Didn't see a big jump, but it is something we would love to be able to do down at the gardens.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
We also plan to put a stand there, a produce stand, so when we have extra food and whatnot, people can just take that, as they're walking by if they needed it. But farmers market's amazing, as long as Donley Margin understands. We're not trying to step on toes. Yes.
Well, I just want to commend you and your organization. You're doing a fantastic job. You're bringing people into our downtown area, and you're making it very festive for us. I mean, I really enjoyed the event that you had in the fall there. That was really nice.
Thank you.
And I'd like to see you continue to grow that event as well and many other events. So thank you very much for what you're doing.
Absolutely. We all love what we do. We're all volunteers, and every volunteer that we have is there because they want to be. Nobody has to be. And I always tell them, and this is not a job, as soon as it feels like a job, they're going to leave, so it's never a job, it's always fun. I taser my vice president, so she stays with me because she has no choice. No, I'm sorry. And the volunteers too. There's a taser for them all. But no, they all want to be involved. They all want to help Seaford, and it says a lot about our town, which I hope helps with real estate as well. It brightens up the area. It makes it positive and safe. And pretty, and we're bringing pollinators back in. We have butterflies in the garden to birds that weren't around before, so it really is a beautiful project to be a part of. Absolutely. And there's no I in team. There's a lot of people behind this. So thank you.
I'm going to take the opportunity to brag on Casdae for a moment. We get a lot of ideas that come forward at the city level, and a lot of times, for whatever reason, those ideas and those visions and those concepts don't materialize. And I remember you bringing the idea forward in the Boys and Girls Club, and I remember thinking to myself, this is very well planned and documented, and you had booklets you were passing out the very first meeting. And when we walked the property with Craig,
Yes.
and he started laying out the vision for what you want to do, I said, it's a very aggressive mindset, and you and your team have carried that mindset forward, and it's pretty remarkable what you got to done in such a short period of time
Yes.
on that property. Just a vacant lot, nothing being done, and now look what you're doing.
It's beautiful. Thank
It's pretty remarkable. So to Councilman McClellan's point, you deserve a lot of credit. You've took this ball and ran with it, and you and your team done a phenomenal job. So I hope you understand that as a city, we're very proud of what you've done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm proud to be able to bring it to our city. It's just an idea. When I was, like I mentioned once before, I had a mini stroke at a young age. And if it wasn't for that, the garden wouldn't have started. So it's amazing. You have to take everything in life, nothing for granted.
Yep.
And you never know what's going to what it'll bring you next. So there's aggression from all of us to make this happen. And none of us want to see it fail. So
Amen.
thank you.
Doing a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for having
All right,
us.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hope to see you all May 17th.
Yes, ma'am. All right, we're going to move on to new business number 3.
Okay, council has in their package a memo from our Director of Public Works, Burley Mears, and we did solicit bids for generator maintenance, all the generators throughout the city at different facilities. We received one bid from Premium Power Services LLC. Total bid was $59,997. We do ask for an hourly rate as well, which is $135. This is the current vendor, and this price is within $50 of the last bid number. So the Director of Public Works is recommending award of this bid to this vendor.
Okay. Are there any questions from council on new business number 3?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor.
How long was the previous contract?
I believe it's a 3-year contract.
Okay, so we obviously had the old generator at the firehouse, but this was covering the new generator.
It is. We updated it. Yes, sir. We have updated the generator at the firehouse during this bid period. So we updated these bid documents when we released them with all the changes throughout the fleet.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any additional questions on new business number 3? If there are no questions, I'll accept the oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll accept the motion.
Councilwoman,
Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry,
Are you
Councilwoman Grassett, I make a motion to award the bid for emergency generator maintenance to the low bidder, Premium Power Services LLC, in the amount of $5,997 as presented.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Grassett. Is there a second?
Councilman Holland, I second that motion.
We have a second from Councilman Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously.
Thank you, sir. New business item number 4 is cleanup week bids. It is that time of year.
Yes, indeed.
We did solicit bids for cleanup week, as we typically do. We did receive 2 bids, one from Casella and one from Republic Services. Casella was the low bidder with a total base bid of $26,600. The Director of Public Works reports we have used Casella in the past. They know our operation. He is recommending award to the low bidder, and certainly I can try to answer any questions council might have.
Are there any questions for, Councilman, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
When you say a pool, you're talking $196, what is exactly is a pool?
Yes, sir. So the way it works, they're, in the contract, they're required to deliver us 5 dumpsters down at the wastewater treatment facility. Our staff picks them up throughout the town, transports it there. We load those dumpsters, and that's the estimate, that number of pulls, total number of pulls. So that's basically how they get paid. The actual number for the trash is established by Delaware Solid Waste Authority. So that's really the number that they make. That's how they get paid, is by giving us the driver, the vehicle, and the number of polls. And I believe the estimate is 30 polls for the whole event.
For the whole event?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any additional questions on new business number 4? If there are no questions, I'll accept the motion.
Councilman Holland, I make the motion to award the bid for cleanup week to the low bidder, Casella, in the amount of $26,600 as presented.
We have a motion from Councilman Holland. Is there a second?
Councilwoman Grassett, I second.
We have a second from Councilwoman Grassett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. Do we have any old business?
We do not, sir.
Okay, going to move over to the reminder of meetings.
Just a few. Parks and Recreation's annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 12th at 10 a.m. at the Seaford Sports Complex and football fields. Also, the annual Lighted Up Blue Autism Awareness Ceremony on Monday, April 14th at 6:30 in Gateway Park. And just a reminder, City Hall and utility divisions will be closed for the Good Friday holiday on April 18th. And then the next day, April 19th, is the election. We have one council person up for election for a 3-year term. Councilman Orlando Holland has filed for re-election, and Jose Santos has filed for councilman. That is all I have, sir.
So the next time we convene as a body will be post-election. So just going to wish both candidates best of luck. All right. At this time, we're going to do liaison reports. We're going to begin with Public Works and Wastewater Treatment Facility and Councilwoman Stephanie Grassett.
As far as Public Works, in the past 2 weeks, they had a contractor here to restripe the Mount Olivet parking lot. They fixed a broken water service line on the golf course. They jetted a new sewer main for the Western Sussex Business Campus Phase 2 project. We did get our sweeper fan replaced and operational, and then it broke down again, so we're back to square one on that. They did dye testing on East Popular to identify mains, and have been looking for sewer service or locating the sewer service on Front Street. They did find that there was a gas service line going through a sewer main, so there will be some shutdown in the turn lane going onto Front Street as they repair that, so glad they found that. And then in the wastewater treatment and compost, the plant has been dealing with scum and floating sludge. They have been doing some analysis to ID the calls and treating. The blend tank was cleaned successfully, and they completed the annual PT report and submitted it. In the next couple of weeks, they plan to install an irrigation pit on Nylon, camera the sewer main on Front Street, and install new water service on Pond Street, as well as replace hydrants and keep the wastewater treatment plant up and running with no violations. And that is my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'm going to move over to Police and Fire and Vice Mayor Dan Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 complete reports from the Chief of Police and the Fire Chief. I'll start with Chief Wilson's report. There's a total number of fire calls to date for 2025 is 365 calls for an average of 3.7 per day. Totals for March is 20 calls at 2.8 per day. EMS side, total calls is 1,281 calls or 13.2 calls per day. March to date, actually yesterday, there's 79 calls for an average of 11.2 calls per day. The next chart you'll see is the number of times at the pump and the gallons used, the net cost for the fuel used to date. Actually, for the period March 4th to April 1st. A number of significant incidents, most of which were out of the city. The one that was in city limits was Sussex Highway and Tharp Road for a motor vehicle crash with entrapment. There was another in the district, but out of the city, motor vehicle crash on the 26th of March, and two residential fires, one on Woodpecker Road and one on Old Meadow Road, March 30 and April 1st. All Seaford Volunteer Fire Department apparatus are in service. The next training will be April 16th at Station 71 or Blades, and that's going to be for vehicle rescue. Next up, you see the chart for the training, the accumulation of man hours for all the training and the number of people who have participated. Under EMS, pardon me, the new ambulance A87 is in service with a temporary permit. The Fire Commission will come out and inspect within 30 days for an official permit. Paperwork is getting submitted to the commission to be approved for draw up EPI to start training at the Delaware State Fire School. All full-time employees that were due to recertification have been completed for 2025. Lieutenant Givens has completed and passed the Pro Board Fire Officer 3. Please congratulate him on the passage of that board. Firefighter and EMT Dean Heisel has completed Swiftwater training and command class for Swiftwater. As I mentioned in the previous meeting, there would be some firefighters and EMTs that would be honored for the Phoenix Awards. You'll see a list there. It's the same list as before. I'll go ahead and read it. To memorialize it, Deputy Chief Matthew Reed, Assistant Chief Ben O'Beer, Lieutenant Mika Eddy, Lieutenant Alan Jarman, Lieutenant Robert Givens, Firefighter Ron Marvel, former employee Kyler Martin, and EMT Bridget Johnson, and EMT Molly Daisy. Now, refresh my memory, I think the Phoenix Awards are where there's a rescue that saves a life. That's imminent risk of death, and they were involved in saving a life. Under news and events, there was under the 2025 community events, there have been 33 events so far with 381 attendees and 938 hours total given. There's some other news here. Acting Lieutenant Logan Wolf completed his Fire Officer 3 certification, and all Seaford Volunteer Fire Department fire apparatus have completed their DOT inspections. All fire hose and ground ladders have been completed. Their testing has been completed for an FBA certification, and all self-contained breathing apparatus have been hydrostatically tested to comply with NFPA testing requirements. Moving on to Seaford Police Department, as usual, you'll see the different columns for different years. And obviously the 2025 numbers are just concluding for the first quarter. Under all crimes, there were 61 total, 5 felonies, 15 misdemeanors, 2 violations, and 39 other, for a clearance rate of 82%, which is down slightly from the period before, but still quite good on the national average. Moving down, there's the other 7. There were 7 other complaints, including assault, larceny, a weapons violation, and that homicide was from the previous period. I'm sorry. Let me back up there. There's a 43% clearance rate on that. 5 drug complaints with 5 adult arrests. Under traffic, there's 89 traffic contacts, resulting in 53 citations. You'll notice that the traffic contacts are down significantly from previous recent periods. This number of traffic contacts is similar to something you might have seen a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. But recently, we've had some young officers that have made a lot of contacts, but we've had some vacations and some other things which have dropped, and training, which have dropped the numbers down, but there's still a high ratio of citations to traffic contacts, which is effective, it's still effective at getting violations taken care of and making the streets a little bit safer to travel. There were 20 crashes in the period, with two DUIs, and one was crash-related, 2 injuries, one on Tharp Road and one on Norman Eskridge Highway. There were 3 hit-and-run accidents. Looks like one was on private property, and then the 2 others were on public streets. No bicycle or pedestrian accidents during this period. Under significant events, I'll refrain from calling your attention to any of these, except that you can read through them at your leisure. Under administration, the chief was busy with various meetings. He did 3 cadet interviews. He had one other?
We have one scheduled for Thursday.
Coming up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are 4 total coming up, but he had 3 cadet interviews, and we're very hopeful that all 4 will be funded, and we'll have 4 cadets to help out the uniformed officers this season. Let's see, and the chief attended some other association meetings and had coffee with Danny, or had a meeting with Danny Short's Coffee. And under community events, there's the ongoing Food On program that many of the officers are participating in. There's also continuing spear training, and on April, I thought I had some names of some people who were in the recent pedophile and online child predator investigations. I don't have the names of those officers escapes me, but I'll follow up. The cadet seasonal program concluded for the year last October, and like I said, they're actively recruiting, and they have 4 applicants, and they're in the process, and we're looking forward to seeing them walking and biking and riding along this summer and fall. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Going to move over to Administration and Councilman Orlando Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The attendant representative, Danny Shorts, coffee meeting at Senior Center, and he met with the senior developer regarding the business park plan for Success Highway. And he also attended a DelDOT meeting regarding the proposed Aldi's development. And he attended police cadet interviews and attended various other meetings and events, and all the work is routine. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Holland. Moving over to Electric and Councilman Mike Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dalton attended a lineman training lab at Demick. They're continuing with electrical work at Hooker's Landing. Replaced a pole on Poplar Street from an accident, and it was made to my attention this happens more often than not.
It does.
I was pleased to see Greg Brook here this morning at his liaison meeting with Bill. And lastly, we have an election coming up on April 19th. I must say we have a group on council that deliberate but stay focused on the same goal, that during our tenure, we want to make our city a little better than it was when we were first elected. So I encourage everybody to go out and vote this particular election, because there's only one seat is going to be a little less attended. So I encourage everybody to go exercise their right. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Over to Code, Parks and Recreation, and Councilman Alan Quillen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start off with Code Department. Year-to-date, we are at 139 permits that have been issued. That is 28 more than since the last report. Rental license are staying at 1,832. Rental license, rental inspections, routine inspections, violation inspections are all ongoing. Also attended the DelDOT meeting for the Audi project. A larger project that we're still working on is Muirfield 1 Phase 4. There have been 37 permits issued to Phase 4 project. Bel Air is coming to a close quickly. There's only 4 lots vacant that have not had a foundation poured onto them yet, so that project should be coming to a close by the end of the year, I would think. And the Western Sussex Business Campus, no update to give you there. Still waiting on some information from KRM. Definitely what Rob Herrera gave us today on the update with the non-line capital, and I don't need to go through too much on that. Looking forward to getting the community bank up and open, and for opening ceremonies for that. That'd be great. Moving over to the Parks and Rec report. Coordinated with Nanticoke Fence to get the fence under the Stein Highway Bridge replaced. Worked with the Nanticoke Little League to place dog waste stations and signs at the Williams Pond Park. Engine repairs to a 2008 F-150 pickup. Turned on and tested irrigation systems at several parks. Completed several repairs to the Jay's Nest. I don't think we have any yeah, we do. There's some pictures up here of some repairs that were done out to Jay's Nest. So there's some other repairs that need to be done, and hopefully in the near future they'll be back out there getting those projects done. Prep soccer fields and softball fields for practices and games. Also on the softball fields, there were batter box mats that were placed down there. So that's going to be a big improvement for our softball teams that are going out there. If you've ever played softball before, you know when you dig into the batter's box, you dig into a hole. So now they will have a flat mat to swing the bat with. Ordered, received, and distributed jerseys, shorts, and socks to all the soccer teams. And the season actually started last night, but due to the inclement weather, unfortunately, they had to delay the start of the season. Meeting for the upcoming Brews and Clues event was attended. And also, if you haven't seen the video that Mayor McCoy and Superintendent Hickey did, it was a very nice video on their display. I believe it's on the City of Seaford Facebook page. So if you haven't taken a look at it, take a quick look at it. Submitted FY26 capital items and the CIP slides for the upcoming budget meetings, and attended the Delaware Tree and Climate Workshop. And that completes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. A couple of thank yous to extend. One to the Amazon leadership team. Prior to tonight's meeting, they were very flexible, very just understanding of getting us in and showing us their process, and we were commenting on it. The initial time we went through there a year or so ago, where they are now, how they expanded their network and their responsibilities. It's pretty massive undertaking when you walk through there. I believe they said over 300 jobs internal and 300 jobs that third-party providers are providing for them. So very fortunate to have them in our backyard, in our community. And very fortunate to have this council. I know we've been doing a lot of tours here recently. We recently toured Tidal Health, Love Inc., now tonight Amazon. I know that takes time out of your schedules. Very much appreciate it. This body is representing the community, and it's in the community. So thank you very much for your time this evening. And with that, I will accept the motion to enter into executive session.
Councilman McClellan, so move.
I have a motion from Councilman Quillen. Is there a second?
Councilman Holland, I'll second that motion.
A second from Councilman Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we're going to enter into executive session. Thank you very much.